Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to Rule the Waves. This is episode 3 of a new series playing this game with the hypothetical country of the Confederate States of America. In episode 2, we continued building out our new fleet. We even laid down a couple of brand new, very high quality, in my opinion, battleships, but we got ourselves into trouble diplomatically with Britain. We had started the last episode with tensions a little bit heightened with Britain, but still very manageable. And by the, early part of the last episode, we had begun a war with the British Empire, the strongest navy the world has ever known at this point in time, and certainly much stronger than the Confederate States Navy under yours truly's command. With that being said, the war did get off to a reasonably positive start with a sizable, although cruiser action, victory. So we won a couple of sort of small engagements that seem to be relatively high profile. We have almost 1,000 victory points. The enemy only has about 200. We also have a submarine force which is going to be engaging the enemy, hopefully effectively, to sort of cripple the British Empire's commerce. And we're going to be waging an unrestricted submarine warfare, despite the fact that that may risk bringing in other powers. I think it's our only chance to win a war against the British. With that being said, this is episode 3, part 2 of the war. We're jumping in right now. I'm going to go ahead and step out, and I hope you guys enjoy the episode as we get started here. 2 turns into the war with the British Empire. Let's go ahead and advance. So with our fleet firmly in control of the waters. Thank you very much for the bits, J Street. With our fleet firmly in control of waters in North American East Coast, our troops have invaded British possessions in New Brunswick. We're invading Canada! All right. With our fleet firmly in control of waters in the Caribbean, our troops have invaded British possessions in New Providence. Battleships are having some problems. Submarine sink 2 ships for 10 victory points. Raiders are sinking 5 British merchant ships for 25 victory points, 1 for 5. British heavy cruisers sinking 1 of our merchants. The operations of our allies in Japan, I forgot we were allied with Japan, add 40 victory points. A coastal raid battle in support of land combat. So, okay. Let's see here. There's a coastal raid. We need to bombard 1 target. And we're doing it with destroyers. 2 light cruisers. Okay. Well, that seems silly. We need to move into Nassau, which is where the enemy is located. We'll make battle speed of 20 knots. We'll make it 20 knots. We'll advance. So I don't know what enemy targets over here. We'll find out. Unknown ship spotted. See what they have in store for us. There's a couple of enemy ships here. Just hope that they don't have a whole big fleet and that all the AI sent to bombard the enemy was a couple of light cruisers. Looks like they have 2 light cruisers and 1 destroyer. We're showing, or 3 light cruisers maybe. Additionally, other ships as we approach it. Whole bunch of ships. Another enemy battle line? More enemy light cruisers? Are these destroyers? I don't... That's an armed merchant cruiser. I'm just going to sail my fleet in and pray to God. I mean, we're kind of crossing their T a little bit. We're out ahead of the Psyche class. They've also got Comus class ships here. I don't even know where the target is they're supposed to be bombarding. Where is this target? It'll be hard to bombard them with light cruisers to accomplish anything. Also, I think there's minefield. Enemy destroyers hit by a torpedo. Nice. Presumably that enemy ship will sink. Patrick Henry looks pretty badly damaged. I mean, the enemy is us heavily outnumbered here. We're just kind of sailing around and praying. Enemy ship hit by a torpedo. Nice. Another enemy light cruiser hit by a torpedo. I can't imagine a light cruiser can take much in the way of torpedoes. Or it would sink. So maybe we'll fail in the bombardment objective. I don't know, as long as we don't get obliterated here. Alright, so one of our destroyers is sinking. Sunk. Get the hell out of here. Retreat to Miami, guys. I'm not even gonna, like, I need heavier ships than this to engage an enemy land target, I feel like. Patrick Henry's not doing very well. He's lost contact with us. We're gonna lose this battle. Come on, Patrick Henry. You can do it. I'll make for Miami. Hang in there, buddy. We lost a destroyer. I mean, we did inflict pretty heavy damage on one of the light cruisers. It was hit by a torpedo. If it didn't sink, I don't know why it wouldn't have sunk if it was really hit by a torpedo. Additionally, if their destroyer was really hit by a torpedo, you'd think at least one of their destroyers sunk for sure. Let's go ahead and speed this up to ultra fast. You can see our flotilla is sort of pulling out slowly. We'll probably lose because we failed to bombard the target, maybe. At least in terms of naval matters, I think we got the best of them. Oh, great. For bulkhead ruptures, flooding increases. And it's going to sink, so we're going to lose a second destroyer here. So that may turn the tide against us in terms of scoring, especially given we didn't bombard the target. Enter Miami. How badly damaged. Minor British victory. So we didn't bombard the target. We failed there. We lost 2 destroyers sunk. Somehow they didn't lose anything sunk. 1 destroyer heavily damaged, 2 medium damage. So like, ugh, that was just a bad fight for us. We had the wrong. For all of the forces that we have in that region, it seems odd to me that the game wouldn't give us a better card to play. Fighting continues in New Brunswick. Marines sink some enemy ships. Japanese allies are gaining victory points. Another battle in support of land combat. See if we... Oh, they decline battle. Very good. Coastal raids, southern seaboard. Enemy has up to 14 battleships? Ah. So they must have sent substantial reinforcements to Canada. It's an enemy coastal raid, so I guess we'll accept. We don't want to just let them bombard us. It's Charleston. All right, so we got a couple of heavy cruisers in our command. What's down here? They say battle division. See any ships there? Battle division, the Virginia and the Texas are not in our command. They're on map. All we get to command is heavy cruisers. Identify ship. We're going to move this way. We're going to make turns for 20 some odd knots. 20. Assuming the enemy has like a battle fleet. Destroyers. Head south to try and join with our battle division. I don't get to command it directly, so. Alright. Attach a destroyer here to pick up some survivors. Meanwhile, let's make our way down to the battle division. See if we can bring it under our command. Gotta be down there somewhere. Alright, so our battle division appears to be falling in line with us. Did destroy a lone enemy destroyer. Or at least it's sailing up and around here somewhere. Alright, so enemy has heavy cruisers over here. We'll see if they have battleships. You can see ours are turning to engage, along with the rest of our fleet. So if they don't have battleships, we should have a pretty big advantage here. Gonna keep heading in this way in line. See if our battleships can pound these enemy heavy cruisers. Good Hope class. Our own heavy cruisers coming up behind them. We've got the battleships sort of in line, shooting at these guys, and we've got our heavy cruisers shooting on the other end of them, so they're kind of being engaged from two sides. They're losing some damage. Eeks, the teaser basically is dead in the water. Additional enemy ships coming up. Not commanding anymore. Battle division is kind of doing good work. These heavy cruisers are not. They're beat to hell. I don't know if they're sinking or... Pause here. What's going on with these heavy cruisers? Oh, God. 2 stars. Flotation. We're going to lose this heavy cruiser, the Rappahannock class. Probably. The Alexandria is doing a little bit better, but not a ton. 5 medium hits received. It scored 3 hits on the enemy. This one's claiming 6 hits on the enemy, but received 25 hits, so it really got mauled by medium caliber shells. Our support forces in the battle division, the Virginia has suffered some damage, which is not great. I don't apparently get to see everything that's going on with them. And there you have it. I'm going to pull back to Charleston with these cruisers. Maybe I can get them back into port. Even answer their helm. Slow to 4 knots to try and keep flooding under control. Slower you move, the less risk from flooding, I think. I don't know where my other vessels have sort of made off to. They're also fighting in the dark. I'm just trusting that because I didn't see enemy battleships. Hopefully our own battleships held their own. I didn't have a lot of destroyers up there screening them, so we'll see how the AI fights it. Those battleships would have been kind of screwed if they keep fighting. Granted, night has fallen, so it may protect them a little bit. See, our heavy cruisers are moving toward Charleston. No opposing sight. Minor victory. So 1 heavily damaged heavy cruiser. The enemy lost. 1 destroyer sunk. Some medium damage to some heavy cruisers. The enemy failed to sink any of our ships. So our surviving merchantmen. So we get a minor victory there. 466 victory points. The enemy gets 438. It's really a pretty even fight. Our forces have taken control of the British possession in New Providence. The army wants more resources to prepare for an offensive that will shift the strategic initiative. Yeah, we can get by with less if you guys do a good job. Cruiser battle in support of land combat near Canada. We actually outnumber their fleet, at least if battleships are included here. Guess we'll see what happens. Decline battle. Convoy defense. So they didn't decline battle here. Got all these merchant ships, and apparently all we have is destroyers to defend them with. Great. Hopefully these aren't enemy cruisers, because if they are, we're screwed. So one of our destroyers is kind of staying with the main fleet. I don't really want to get into a destroyer gun battle with the British. My destroyers are really designed for gun battles. Do outnumber them in terms of ships, at least. That's a oh god. My one destroyer is up there against 3 enemy destroyers. It's fucked. They're picking us off. Protect the transports. It's gonna be bad. Convoy Division, where are you? They're attacking our transports, but I can't see any. No, the convoy's doomed. They're getting picked off. They got reports of them being straddled and torpedoes hitting them. It's really a light cruiser. Where the hell did they go? Alright, so one of our destroyers is sinking. I think the first clear-cut British naval victory in this war. Alright, let's just end this battle. Minor British victory, so they did sink 2 of our transports. We lost 1 destroyer. Apparently it only rates as a minor victory. Still ahead in the victory point war, but not by much. More ships on anti-submarine warfare patrol. Been a war for 5 months. Alright, so more advances on forced to scuttle due to mechanical problems. No! We lost a heavy cruiser to scuttling. Enemy coastal raid. Line battle. We're blockaded? What? Great Britain has 10 battleships. We have 7. How are we blockaded? Well, I guess we have too many of our ships in the North American East Coast. So let's go ahead and move some of those ships back to the Caribbean. Battleships. I don't want to move too much. But we'll move battleships, light cruisers, and some destroyers. Hopefully that lifts the blockade. Reasonably successful land army offensive, pushes the enemy back, gives us victory points, gets us back ahead. Battle. Cruiser action in the Caribbean. This one looks like it's going to be a fight. It's going to be light cruisers again, so that's what it's going to be. All right, so our light cruisers versus their destroyers, or they probably have light cruisers as well. Got 4 ships. We've got 5. Seen yet. Question is, how many of them are destroyers? How many of them are light cruisers? We've got at least 1 light cruiser spotted. Like 3 destroyers and a light cruiser. See if we can pick off some of these destroyers. More interested in fighting the rear of their column. First, we got to get in super close because all these guys are using light caliber shells, which means kind of cutting the British line. I also don't get the sense that our destroyers are doing much of anything. And there's one of our heavy cruisers is swinging out of line, or light cruisers swinging out of line due to damage. So the thing is with Admiral mode, I guess the frustration is it kind of does just feel like you're sailing around and you've got to let the AI do what it does. I like the idea of having sort of limited orders based on the rank that you choose and giving you additional bonuses in terms of scoring the way the game does it. The problem I have with it is it doesn't give you enough command options to really reflect being a fleet admiral. And I think that's sort of a weakness of the way the game models all of this. Now we're trying to chase these guys. They all appear to be faster. Follow the Jackie Fisher model of war, apparently. So, racing us somewhere. We're gonna chase you across the ocean. I feel like they're running away, so regardless of what happens damage-wise, we should win. Right? It's like a land battle. Right? Whoever holds possession of the field wins. Looks like a destroyer is trailing a bit, but not much. Still faster than us. We also took some damage that slowed us down. This kind of reminds me of some of the Aubrey Martin running engagements. And there go my destroyers. Like, oh, we can't see anything anymore, so we're not going to race up ahead. Marginal British victory. We suffered more damage, basically. So I think that leaves us still blockaded. No, it doesn't. Apparently we broke the blockade. We are currently winning in victory points, largely because of our land forces, not because of anything that we've done. Yeah, I mean, there are command options I'm aware of that open up as you kind of develop more technology, if you will. But still feels a little bit weak. Let's see here. We took control of British New Brunswick. They're interested in buying reliable bursting charges from us. By all means, you're our allies in this war, of course. Coastal raid. All right. Are we leading the coastal raid? Can we really not try and... Oh, we took Nassau. Nice. Can we please not be ordered to... All right, so the enemy coastal raid. I was going to say, it'd be really great if we didn't have to bombard the enemy with, like, 5-inch guns. Seems like if we've got all these battleships in the region, we'd probably deploy those guys for something like that. I'm assuming we need to defend Nassau, my assumption. I guess we'll just kind of sail around there because there's an installation on the map. So presumably the enemy's going to try and bombard it. One battleship? Really? I hope the enemy doesn't really have a battleship over there. Let's go back to fast. Alright, so they're attacking our merchants. Go back to normal. Alright, so the enemy has 2 heavy cruisers, some destroyers. The kennel there looks like it's dead in the water. Oh, great. We're hit by a torpedo. Because the enemies always hit us by torpedo. It's just so easy to do. Which probably costs us that battle. Alright, so we sank that enemy destroyer. McRae's probably going to sink. We've only got 1 light cruiser left. The enemy has 2, 3. We get lucky and hit one of them with a torpedo, maybe? Great if the McRae makes it back. Forward. I'm half tempted to just pull everyone into Nassau. Right, so we're going to lose a destroyer. They're going to lose a destroyer. So pulled my cruisers back into Nassau Harbor. Page did sink. I don't have any command at this point. Matter of waiting. That'll be another victory, I think, for the British. Going to pursue our ships north. No command. I'm assuming at some point it's going to transfer my flag. Did. We're going to pick off destroyers here. We'll charge back through the lines. Yeah, that was dumb. The problem is I had nowhere to retreat to. So we're going to lose a whole bunch of destroyers and we're going to lose this battle. Fuck! Well, at least we took Nassau. We sank 1 enemy. Some of our ships will escape. Alright. So, ship sunk. Done the battle. All these little small ship actions. I guess maybe that's what a war like this would look like if you were fighting over the Caribbean. Although it certainly doesn't reflect how naval forces were used during World War I. Alright. British major victory. They didn't bombard the target. We did get 3 surviving merchants, but we lost 3 destroyers. The enemy did lose 1 destroyer sunk and 1 badly damaged. 3-1, they win a major victory. They get 500 victory points. That basically evens up the victory point tally. This is going to be a hard war to win. I think most likely we're going to end up with a white peace. If we don't lose. Again, like, it tells us we have an overwhelming superiority of forces in every one of these engagements, but then we never get to play with it. It's always like, oh, you just get this small fraction of your command to use, and that's it. And apparently there's a whole bunch of installations and merchants in this fight. Like, I'd really like to actually, if we've got 8 battleships or 5 cruisers and the enemy has nothing, so I'd really like to see that advantage. I just think it's funny that we took part of Canada. Like, really? That just seems silly. Again, the enemy's faster than me. Granted, we're in kind of a narrow seaway, so speed may be less important. They don't have... kind of run in this general direction because they will get out of the land, if you will. Speed up north. Maybe we can cut them off. They kind of come in close with the land. I'm going to try and win the battle of the angles. Can we not make better than 21 knots? This war is, you know, I made the assumption that guns would be more valuable and armor would be more valuable than speed, but I feel like this game is vindicating Jackie Fisher a bit. They swung back south. That or they escaped north. Where did they go? They really sail all the way into these narrow waters up here? Wait, they didn't have anywhere to escape out of that way. They double back south, maybe? I didn't even realize there was no exit point. Lights an unknown ship. Where are they? AI get themselves pinned into a corner here? Oh, Lord, let them have done that. They don't escape before we get there. What do you mean, no? Marginal victory. Neither side loses anything, but it feels like a missed opportunity that they bottled themselves up there. So we get 110 victory points. All right, let's take a look at the map here. So we've taken New Brunswick up here. So Canada, basically. Or at least a chunk of Canada. We've also taken one of the British possessions of the Caribbean. What I'm curious with is if we end up with like a white piece, does the game do anything with that? Like, do we keep that? With our fleet firmly in control of the waters in the North Atlantic East Coast, we've taken Bermuda. Or landed on Bermuda, whatever it was. Battle in support of land combat. So is it just going to be like 2 light cruisers again? Seriously? And I'm guessing we're going to be heavily outnumbered. Enemy minesweeper. Sink it. Sink it good. Presumably it has no torpedoes, right? Alright. We have no time for survivors. Close on the enemy. Bombardment target again. Unknown ships. Presumably enemy warships. Oh god. We've got 2 light cruisers. They have a mountain of ships. They're also faster than us. Which makes this not a fun fight. Does look like we badly damaged that one psych class, though. Launched a torpedo at it, too. She's not moving very quick. And she's dead in the water. Here's the other thing, is if they've mined that area, it doesn't let me go into the area that they mine, which also means that I have no way to actually bombard my target. I'd really like to finish off this enemy class. Now he's vanished. Maybe we can at least get this enemy merchant ship. So, like, how am I supposed to get in there and bombard the damn thing out here? Apparently it's been mineswept, or mined. I have no real way to do it. I think a lot of the British fleet actually withdrew off. Why don't you go in there? Got orders to blow the damn place to Kingdom Come. They coming out now? I'm confused. Weren't they all just in harbor? Now they're coming out of the harbor? Oh no, Tallahassee's lost rudder control. Shit. Going in circles. It's Bismarcked. Been Bismarcked. Alright, looks like they got rudder back. So we bloodied some of their units' noses, but I think they're going to win this battle. May sink one, if not both of us. You can see here they've got some destroyers charging in. Assume they'd launch torpedoes. Be on the Lady Davis or something. Oh, the Tallahassee's rudder went again. Damn rudder. Right, Lady Davis. Well, we're not going to get out of here anytime soon. Maybe they'll just leave us alone. Ship's badly battered, only making 8 knots. Oh, high seas are coming too. I don't know how I'm supposed to, again, I don't know how I'm supposed to bombard with these ships here. Alright, let's see how this thing unfolds. Let's see what it says. Minor British victory. We lost, well, one cruiser heavily damaged. They lost. One minesweeper sunk, an auxiliary badly damaged, and some damage in there. Somehow that gives them a victory. Probably because we didn't bombard the ground. I feel like we should be getting way more victory points just because of the fact that we've taken some of these towns. Trade disruptions and submarine sinkings are causing hardship and food shortages in Great Britain. We're going to have another fight in and around Bermuda. It's the Lady Davis again. I sure hope it's not the same. Like, I hope they've repaired their damage. It's like it. We're going to have another fight. Another failure to bombard because there's no way to do it. How many ships do they have this time? 2 heavy cruisers versus what? Bunch of enemy destroyers. 1 light cruiser by the looks of it. Probably shouldn't get too close to these destroyers lest they torpedo me. Certainly one thing they'll have a big advantage in is torpedoes. I like how I hit the enemy light cruiser once and he turns back. Maybe I can close in on this Kennet class. This one seems to be dragging a bit behind. Maybe we did some damage to it. Love to sink some enemy ships here. Both their ships are less than 50% of their ammo. kind of it's dead in the water. I got to assume it's sinking. So we knocked one of their ships out. I don't know if that's our minesweeper that they just sank. Not really sure. I'm assuming it probably was our minesweeper, given that I didn't have anything over in that way. Did we pick off another one of their destroyers? Probably going to run out of ammo here soon. Bombardment target. You hit it? They are shooting at it. I don't think they're doing any damage to it. Transports coming in. Saw a couple of rounds lobbed at the bombardment target. I don't think we have enough ammo to destroy it, even if we want. Of course I do. Chance we can, no, not take out that transport. At least ravage some enemy shipping over here, maybe? Don't really have any ammo left. Very little. I fired some rounds on the bombardment target. Might be another. Yeah, let's get it. All right. I guess I'll have to deal with that as our victory. Hopefully it's a victory. I don't know what kind of penalty we get for not destroying a bombardment target with our massive 5-inch guns. And I have to let things play out. Battle's over. Great Britain, minor victory. Really? It's all because we had 3... I mean, they lost a destroyer sunk, they lost a minesweeper sunk, and they lost an auxiliary sunk. We lost nothing sunk, and yet the game gives them a victory. Granted, not much of a victory, but it still gives them a victory, and we're blockaded again, for fuck's sake. Like, So what do they have here that's blockading us? We have 9 battleships, and they have 7, and somehow we're blockaded. The heavy cruisers might be playing the toll, I'm not sure. Meanwhile, we dominate the sea lanes in North Atlantic. I think we're blockading them. I don't know if this was a location of a battle or something. Or no, we're landing on this island. That's what that is. All right. We've been streaming for about 2 hours now, guys. I think I'm going to go ahead and call this one a night. We're at war with Great Britain. The war is not going disastrously. We're actually behind in victory points, but apparently they're having some instability at home due to merchant ship losses and other things like that. So certainly is what we like to see. I think we probably want, actually, we've got a little bit of extra money. So before we go, let's go ahead and design a few armed merchant cruisers. Auto-design the ships. They will be, they've got guns. They're not super fast. I wonder if it would be better if they were faster. My thought was to use them as raiders, so I could make them faster. Costs will be higher. We'll do that. Go ahead and design those. Ashbro class. Go ahead and build 4 of them. Going to take 4 months. Once they come online, we'll assign them to commerce rating. We probably also should build some additional subs, although I don't think they're going to be ready by the time of the war. I'm just assuming this will be a short war, but every time I look around, the war's still going, so this will build 10 more. Anything we can get, the better. Presumably the blockade's going to cause our own unrest that we need to be mindful of. We're waging unrestricted sub-warfare. We're building 10. We've got like 10 more subs still in service, maybe like 15. But overall, the British obviously have a massive superiority in terms of battleships. Well, not massive, I guess. They've got 18. We've got 15. They're building a dreadnought, though. They're building 10 battleships. We're building 2. We've got 15 heavy cruisers. We've got 6. 24 light cruisers. We've got 13. 47 destroyers. We've got 44. Now, in terms of losses, they have lost 4 ships so far, 4 warships, 3 destroyers, 1 light cruiser. We have lost a heavy cruiser, which was scuttled. Dumb. And we've lost 6 destroyers. So we've lost more warships, but we've sort of dominated local places, which has allowed us to, land troops in Canada and land troops in Bahamas and take some British possessions. So we're fighting in Bermuda. We took New Brunswick. We already took New Providence. So we'll end up stronger at the end of this war if we can hang on, if we can sort of outlast the British. The question is, can we? So that's where we are. Anyway, guys, I hope you're enjoying the video, and I'm going to go ahead and sign off for tonight. Until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching, and I'm out.